So once again, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. We're here to showcase some of these fantastic vehicles in the paddock, and I'm here with our first victim, who's going to talk about his car. He is a long-term supporter of the museum. Some of you and the trust, some of you may know him, but I'll ask him to introduce himself and some history to this fabulous little BSA.
Well, thank you, Steve. My name is Douglas Mancini, and indeed I'm a long-time member and previously vice chairman of what was the Friends of Brooklands Museum. So, we're here to talk about Hell's Bells, which is a 1931 BSA three-wheeler. It's got a V-twin of just over a liter capacity, and it's a very interesting engine because it was designed by a chap who used to work for Hotchkiss and designed aero engines. And when BSA needed a large V-twin for a car, they went to him and outsourced it. So he basically took a Hotchkiss 8-cylinder radial engine and used 2 cylinders in a common crankcase. And if you have a look at the engine and the cylinder heads in this, you can recognize right away the big external pushrod tubes, etc., just like on a Hotchkiss radial engine. The other thing that really sets this car apart from the Morgan three-wheeler, which was cheaper in the day, is it has reverse. And I did sneak into the Morgan day last year and reversed into the Paddock just for a bit of fun. But you know, I like to wind up the Morgan guys. Also, I asked them why does it make sense to have one drive wheel instead of 2. I should have said this is the front-wheel drive car. The car was found in a hedge about 15 years ago. And when I first saw the car, it was a pile of bits on the floor in a friend's workshop. And basically the chassis is just a 4-inch tube that runs front and back. And I said, where's the rest of the car? He said, well, that's it. We're going to build a body around it and do something with it. And I didn't see the car for many years, and then a couple of years ago I saw the car. It was sort of 80% finished. And I said, what's your brother doing with it? He said, I'm sure he'd like to sell it. And buying the car and finishing the car. And it's really the first season we're out of the car. It sounds great. Let's look behind the name. It had a really rookie exhaust on it, and designed, fabricated, built in style, exhaust system for it. And when I drove it home, my wife said, Jesus, that thing sounds like Hell's Bells. And I said, well, you just named the car.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our second chosen car in the paddock this morning is owned by Martin DeLittle, sorry. I'm going to pass straight over before I make any more mistakes to learn about this wonderful car.
Oh, goodness. So this is a 1923 Delage DI, one of the very early Delage models. Of this kind. There was a DI, a DIS meaning sport, and a DISS meaning super sport. Engine mechanically wise, it is overhead valve. 1923, 96 years old.
Use the microphone a bit closer to
1923, 96 years old. 4 years to go before it's an antique. A bit like its driver. So it's overhead valve, 2 liters oil filter, which was very rare for the time, a cartridge oil filter. It has a multi-plate dry clutch, which is a bit tricky sometimes, 4-speed box, and 4-wheel cable braking, where the front pair are compensated and the rear pair are compensated. Famously, on this model, the DI, in order to get from first or neutral to reverse, you had to go through first. So you engage first, there's a detente on the gear lever, and you go one stage further into reverse. For the purposes of the film here, that's first and that is reverse. However, Delage, in his infinite wisdom on the later models, removed the détente from the reverse gear selection. Therefore, and not unusually, a young man who is perhaps rather keen on showing off his car might inadvertently engage reverse at the junction, rev the engine a bit, drop the clutch and promptly shoot backwards to the consternation of passengers and people behind it. It would have been made by one of the big carrossiers like Kelch in Paris, and it will necessarily, or inevitably, be unique because the owner would have instructed the body shop on exactly what he wanted. The body on this is not original. There's possibly a copy of the original. We don't know. Records are few and far between. But the colour scheme is not unusual for the time. The car is more or less complete now. There's another spare wheel drive on the other side that's been rebuilt by Motor Services in Slough, and the 4 hub nuts, which are the style of the kind of which are shared with, among others, Rolls-Royce, are all being replaced by silver bronze.
Lovely. That's it. Martin, thank you very much indeed for bringing the car along. I'm sure you'll get a lot of attention when you move back out. Now, first of all, David, thank you so much for bringing this super little car along. Just tell us a little bit about the car, its history, and how long you've owned it.
Thank you, Steve. It is actually a Buckler 90 chassis, so called because with a mildly tuned Ford side-valve engine, in accordance with the 1172 Formula X, the car could do 90 miles an hour.
My baby don't stand no cheating, my baby. Oh yeah, she don't stand no cheating, my baby. Oh yeah, she don't stand no cheating. She don't stand none of that midnight creeping, my baby. True little baby, my baby. My babe, I know she loves me, my babe.
Why is it called Maisie? It's after my mum. She died in January, 3 months short of her 100th birthday. She was always interested in the cars that I had, and she would have loved to have had a ride in this, but it didn't work out. So at least she can be with me in spirit when I drive it. Yeah.
So we've got a delightful D-type in Paddock now with one of the members, Roger, and I'm sure he'll be able to go to great lengths to explain the history of this vehicle. Roger, first of all, thank you for bringing it along today.
Hello Steve, good morning. Yeah, my pleasure. Originally the car I found about 13, 14 years ago now in Ongerland, the race meeting down there. This particular car was in the town car park, town square car park, with a telephone number and a for sale notice. So inevitably I gave it a ring and eventually found that it actually belonged to an English guy who'd moved down to that particular part of the world. So the net result was that I eventually did a deal and went down a couple of months later with the trailer and brought it back to the UK. And then the fun and games start, of course, because you then find out how bad it is that what you really bought. And it always takes you inevitably twice as long to fix it. It's twice as bad as you thought it was, and it's certainly going to cost you twice as much as you think it is to get it right. But in the end, we took the whole car completely to pieces, right the way down to the bare chassis, and literally started again. Rebuilt the engine, put a 5-speed gearbox in it, put a limited slip diff in, put racing brakes on, etc., etc. So it now performs quite well. It's a regular attendee here at Brooklands, and we do hill climbs with it, sprint meetings. So it gets used during the course of the year for a whole variety of different events and charities and one sort or another. So good fun. Not the ideal motor car to go long distance in a short distance is fun.
Thank you, Roger, for that explanation, and once again, thank you for bringing this delightful car along. I'm sure we'd like to hear the sound of it again. Okay, so we're back with the next car in the paddock, and I have to say, this is different in lots of ways, and I'm going to let the owner explain why it's so different straight away. But first of all, thank you for bringing the car along.
No worries. Morning everyone, and my mates. Okay, before I get hated for doing this, it was destined for the scrapyard. It had a Pinto under the bonnet and was built in a college, and they forgot that you had to sit in the car, so there was no area to get in. The bulkhead went straight to the floor. I bought it as an ongoing boo-boo. Basically cut the whole bottom out of it. It's a genuine 1980 Targa with fiberglass arches. I put it on a short wheel pan. It's now running a Singapore 1500 with a supercharger, and it's basically a go-fast speedball. I made it look tatty, and that's what it looks and that's what it is, but it drives, it's alright in my eyes. If you hate it, you hate it. If you love it, you love it. That's it. Thank you.
I think we love it because it is so damn different.
Oh, it is on air, it doesn't drive it out right.
Oh, really? Okay, I was going to ask how he got down now.
Yeah.
Candle entrance, because I can't see much of it in the front. But thank you very much for bringing it in. Well done. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back in the paddock, back with a very familiar looking car, but what you see isn't what you get. I'm going to hand you over to its owner, Roger. As I've said to everyone, thank you so much for bringing the car along. It looks magnificent, and I know we're going to find out a little more about its history. Roger.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll try and keep it brief. car originally was a Healy built at the factory in 1956 and was built specifically left-hand drive to go to America. It was shipped out to California, where it stayed until 1966, 10 years, in its original form with the Austin Westminster engine. The owner decided after a while, for whatever reason, he read about, originally Donald Healy had tried to merge a deal with Hal Shelby in America to actually put Shelby Cobra engines in the car. So he thought he would do the same, which is why it's ended up with a 289 cubic AC Cobra engine in the original Healy car, which makes it, I think, quite lively. Therefore, he also thought it got so lively, he had to put a Mustang gearbox and back axle on, which meant extending the track slightly. And they are metal wings, it's not fiberglass or anything like that. I think it's been done really nicely. I think the chap then eventually had it shipped back to, he had a big house apparently in the south of France, and he ran it up the, I don't know what the place in Cannes, up and down the Corniche. And he ran it there for years and years, came back eventually into the UK and was bought at Coy's auction by somebody I know, and I bought it off of him, I've been about 5 years now, where I've gone to France, to Normandy, around the beaches on tours with some of the other friends and club members. It's done the sheer hill climb, the Cock hill climb, which are things locally in the UK. Obviously, I'm being a member of the outreach team here at Brooklands. With the help of the client here, I've brought it to a few events and just put it on the stand. And it gets interest because it's different, but the car is fairly lively, I think, is the summary of it.
Hello, sir. I can still get out, thank God.
I don't quite know how to describe this car really, Eddie. We've got a question first of all. Why does the front number plate swing? In the nicest possible way, I mean.
Because if I'm driving in a field or whatever, it swings back out the way. When I've got it riding low, because I can have it riding high if I want to.
Do that again.
Take your hands out of the pocket.
No.
Okay, antics are over. We're not going to have another car to do that this afternoon. So, talk me through what it is.
It's a replica from a film that was made in 1977 called The Car, designed by George Barris in his studios for Universal Studios. He, of course, is the man who designed the first Bat car, the kit car from the television. He designed an awful lot of cars for the studios. He was their man to go to.
Okay, do you just want to talk us through, as everyone likes to know, what's under that enormous bonnet?
Enormous engine.
Man, a few words. A bit more detail, maybe?
It's a 460 V8 4 to 490, so it's 8 litres. It's got a C6 full manual gearbox. Although it's an automatic gearbox, it's got a manual shift on it. It will not change gear unless I hit the stick. Because the forerunner of the flat paddles these days, which you used to fit. Because believe it or not, I used to take it drag racing. It's absolutely silly when it weighs 2.5 tons, but I used to have some good fun with it. It's got nitrous oxide in it and all sorts of stuff. It runs low 13, so I never got into 12, so I did try hard. But I broke too many things, mainly the gearbox. So I'm a bit of an expert at building gearbox. I built the engine myself and that helps. So it's quite a unique car really.
So road-wise, what's it like to drive?
I drive it very defensively because of the paintwork. I've had it 31 years and I've painted it 3 times, and it's quite a drama taking everything off of it to get painted. I don't paint it myself, I do all the paint, so I drive it very defensively on the road. It drives okay.
I must say the spikes on the hubs of the wheels are a bit non-health and safety these days, but I'm sure you can get away with that. Thank you for bringing it along, and I'm sure you're going to make it going as it
Say goodbye to you.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Marvellous. Thank you very much indeed.
The door opens on its own. Everyone asks me how the door opens.
Open the door. So, round of applause, I think, there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back here again with what I have to say is a magnificent looking Bentley. Tony John's here. As I've said to everyone, thank you so much for bringing your car along. Would you just like to tell us the history of this marvellous car and your history of owning it?
Hello, it was built during 1957 and it was ordered by HRO for stock. And they ordered an odd thing. They ordered a cardboard interior to go in the mould of the body, which may well be the only one like this. And it was then sold to a naval commander and went through some other ownership. It eventually ended up in the hands of my father for a number of years, and then elsewhere in my family, and I bought it in 1992. It had a bodywork restoration that year, and then it had a full-blown mechanical restoration in 2000-2001. And basically I tried to keep it as good as it was once that had been done. And hopefully it doesn't look too bad.
I think it's a bit of an understatement to say it doesn't look too bad. It's absolutely fantastic, and I admire you for keeping it in such good order. As far as driving it is concerned, it still works well.
It's really good. In fact, before the mechanical restoration, there were problems with suspension, and when it was taken away to the dealers for refurbishment mechanically, the driver said it was the second worst of these cars he'd ever driven. The restoration of the mechanics cost a fortune because the suspension was so expensive the parts. But it drives much, much better. It's now on modern tyres, and that makes it much, much easier to drive.
Thank you very much indeed for bringing it along. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The bit that we asked to leave in the paddock, and you've not been interviewed, could you make your way back to meet us as soon as you can? We've got a few more minutes and do some interviews, so if you could make your way back to the paddock, it would be fantastic. Thank you. So we're back again in the paddock with something completely different, and I have to say it is a magnificent looking car. And I'm going to hand you over to Ian to talk through exactly what it is, its pedigree and history and his ownership of it. Ian.
Hi, thank you very much. Just like to say it's a really good show here today.
Thank you
for putting on a good event. This is a replica Ford RS 200. It's a replica of the Group B rally car from 1984. It was 200 originally built, but nobody really knows how many actually exist today. This is just a replica. The drivetrain is a Cosworth Turbo 2 litre. It's running about 210 brake horsepower at the moment. It's got BD10 cams. It's got a Renault transaxle UN8, SO8. It's running standard turbo, a nice intercooler on it. The car show the other day, somebody actually said to me, oh, that's a nice air conditioning unit on top of the car. So a little chuckle there. The car has taken me 26 years to build. It's been a family joke for many years. My son was born, I said we're ready for his 21st birthday. That went. They said we're probably getting ready for when he has his children to come down.
Brilliant, fantastic looking car, and thank you for bringing it along today. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Not the best car for reverse. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the next car we've got in the car park. I have to say the great thing about this car show today is the diversity of vehicles. Now this has been very special. It's been featured in our Spinning Wheels series of videos that are on the BTM channel, and reliably informed, it's had a phenomenal amount of viewings on YouTube. So instead of me rabbiting on about it, I'm going to pass you over to its owner to tell us why he did all this work on it.
Well, the car found me. It was written off in the 1970s. I cleared the garage out and it was at the end. I wanted to put a V8 in something, and this is where it ended up. To get it here, being a four-door, I had to stretch the front of the car for 6 inches. It's not the easiest job I've undertaken.
All right, well, love to you and Penny, and
From there on, it's been rolling project. It's more of a prototype, so I think something can be improved. I do it. It's gone from 3.5 litre to 4 litre now, Land Rover Discovery engine with a lot of tuning on it. and it's in the mid-13s on a quarter mile, which is the top.
Lovely, thank you very much indeed. And I'm sure you're going to move it back over in front of the clubhouse with the bonnet up, not necessarily at the same time, but people will be able to see the fantastic bit of engineering that you put into this car to what can only be described to shoehorn a V8 into it. I'm sure it never thought in its day when it was built we'd have such an exotic piece of machinery in it. So thank you for bringing it along today. Thank you.
The eagle has landed.
Three-point landing. A three-pointer, that's always what people with tricycle undercarriages want to do. A three-pointer. Very good.
Okay, so this is, I think, our penultimate interview before the band come on at 12:15. Some of you may already have seen this Range Rover, which we featured in another one of our spinning wheels. It's got a lot of history, and I'm going to hand over to the owner now to explain exactly what that is. Thank you very much. My name is John Sutherland, and this is a 2006 it's a one-off bespoke build. It was commissioned by the chairman of Overfinch, Bob Dover. Bob Dover used to be the CEO of Land Rover, Jaguar Land Rover, Aston Martin. So this was his personal car when he went to Overfinch for quite a short period of time. So what they did, they took a 2006 supercharged 4.2 Range Rover Vogue, and then what they've done is they've worked their way through it. The interior has had a complete refit. It's got bridge of weir, leather, and Holland & Holland, the Royal Gunmaker, have done the entire interior of this car. There's about 35 different pieces of hand custom built wood. There's Holland & Holland branding on the door pulls and on the cocktail cabinet in the back. There's also in the central console a fridge and another decanter and wine glass holder. So it's quite a special place inside. As I say, it's only one-off. Overfinch did build 9 other cars which were Holland & Holland spec, but it was the later 2010 model. So on the outside they did a full GT body kit conversion, and they had the colour-coded wheels and the other parts that make it a sports model. I think it's a little bit of a story how you came across the car. Yeah, so my son Daniel happened to spot it just for sale on an auto trader at a second-hand car dealership in Stratford-upon-Avon. So we got in the car the next day, rushed up there thinking it could be something special and different and unique, and it turned out that Bob Dover, who kept the car for 5 years, then sold it to his friend who lived in Stratford-upon-Avon, and he used it for his car for 3 years, and then he just part exchanged it in for a Jaguar XJS, I think it was. So it's been really under the radar. Not many people have known that this existed, and I was fortunate to get featuring Land Rover International in February this year, so it's all good. Thank you very much indeed for bringing the car along. It is magnificent. Thank you very much. Well, first of all, I get a chance to sit down for 5 minutes, which is a good move, and especially in such a beautiful Bentley as this. I'm going to ask Mike to talk us through its history, how long he's had the car, and just about everything else we can think of. Mike.
Okay, I've had the car for about 25 years. Bought it as a derelict bag of bones. As a hobby, specifically anything else, it was just a hobby. And over the years it's been taken completely to pieces and put completely back together again.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about what model it is, its year? People love to know engine size. Has it had any previous history that you know of?
Yeah, it's a 1938 4.25 litre M series Bentley. The series is otherwise known as the Overdrive series. It's the last of the pre-war Bentleys. It's the pre-production car for that series, and the customer on the wheelchair was Motor Show. It didn't actually go to the Motor Show. It was allocated to Bentley Motors as the Works Trials car. And for the first year of its life, it was used by Bentleys for working on new engine bearing materials.
So, whose body is on it?
Okay, the car, when it was built originally, had a part called saloon body. The saloon body rotted away and was taken off, and the body was built by a firm of coach builders, James Pearson Co. It follows the lines of the Van den Clark open four-seat Tourer that was commonly used as the
So, ladies and gentlemen, the final car to be looked at, and I have to say I've been looking at this since early morning when this arrived. Absolutely, well, something unique about it. I think we're about to find out why.
Hello. About this vehicle, it's number 24 of 48 ever produced. It's 1935, 83 years old. History of it is amazing. It's in Scotland all its
life. My baby don't stand no cheating, my babe. Oh yeah, she don't stand no cheating, my babe. Oh yeah, she don't stand no cheating. She don't stand none of that midnight creeping, my babe. True little baby, my babe. My babe, I know she loves me, my babe. Oh yeah, I know she loves me, my babe. Oh yeah, you know she loves me. She don't do nothing but kiss and hug me, my babe. True little baby, my babe.
I know it'll be its longest journey it's ever done in one day.
Fantastic looking car, or can we call it a car, a vehicle with such history and elements of original design. Thank you very much for being along. Thank you.
My baby don't stand no cheating, my babe. Oh no, she don't stand no cheating, my babe. Oh no, she don't stand no cheating. Everything she do so pleasing, my babe. True little baby, my babe.